Hey everyone, uh, so good afternoon to all of you. So today we are going to start our second session of our Android study jam. So in this session, we are going to learn about the classes, the objects, and we are going to write a simple program on the classes and the objects. Then we are going to learn some of the basics in Android Studio, the things like the layout editor, the view groups, which you might not understand, but later we'll get to know. Um, so the very first thing that I want you guys is like, if you didn't watch the previous video, make sure you watch the previous video. Then you can watch this video. So why? Because there are some of the parts of the program that you might not be able to understand in this session. So I recommend you to complete your unit tracks, that is unit 1 and unit 2. Then you can start this session. So my name is Uttam and I am from Developer Student Club from Sayadi Open Source Community. So I welcome you all, and let's start with our very first slide, that is introduction to the classes and the objects. Okay, so the first thing that the formal definition of a class is like just a blueprint for an object. So a object can be anything. My mobile, it's also an object. The pen is also an object. This headphone is also an object. So what do you mean by a class? So class is like the very formal way that you categorize these objects. So you can consider this pen as a class of a pen. So you can consider this mobile. So this mobile is a Motorola, but it will come under the class of the mobile. So there are various types in the classes. Will not go into the depth. We'll just brief it out. So before starting the program, I want you guys to understand some of the examples in classes. So give me 1 second. Yeah. So here you can see that these are some of the examples in the classes. So let us consider the example of a car. So if you take an example of a car as a class, there are some basic properties of a car. So a car must include a wheels, and it should also include the body for a car. So if you take this as basic properties, so whenever you see a car, the first thing that you come to your mind is that it has wheels, then it has body. So what are the objects? So objects are it's an instance of a class. So when you consider the objects here, you have the examples: the Mercedes, the BMW, and the Audi. So all these Mercedes, BMW, and the Audi, all these three cars have a basic property. They have wheels and they have a body for their cars. So that's a thing about the classes and the objects. So if you take an example of an animal as a class, you have the animals has hands and legs, and the each of the animal has their own color of the skin. Some of the animals have the trunks, and some of them has yeah, some of them have the spots on their skin. But the main thing, the major thing is that they all come under the class known as an animal. So the birds comes under also class and animal, and a lion, elephant, or fox. So it may be anything, but they all group together in under one class that is called as an animal. So if you take an example of Audi, Mercedes, and BMW, they all come under the class that is nothing but a car. So the real objects example, you can see just like I explained. You have the mobile can be considered as a real object. You can consider pencil as a real world object, and also an app, the app fruit apple, and also the book. So to understand briefly in Kotlin, let us take an example of a dice roll. Okay, so when you so I'm going to write a program Okay, so in that program what it contains is the sides of the dice roll. So if you consider a dice, it has like six sides. Then some of the dice might have a 12 side or a 8 sided too. So I will write a program. So the program is very basic. It should give me an random number. So if I click on roll, so if I run my program, it should give me a random number. Let us say like the six-sided dice has given me the number 2. So if I run my program again, then the six-sided dice has given me the number 4. So we are going to write a simple program using the Kotlin online editor. So let me bring up that. Yeah. So here you can see that we have the three dices. All right. So all these dice. So for the each dice, I have given a particular name. So the first dice I have given like my first dice, and the second dice I have given name like my second dice, and the third dice I have given like name like my third dice. So all of these dice come under one class, that is a dice. So if we take an example of a dice class, so it has a basic property. One of the basic property in a dice that it has like it will roll. Okay. Then the other property is that it has sides. So if you consider all of these three dice, those three dice has a common property. For first thing is that they have sides, and another thing is that it will roll. So the another thing about the dice is that you have different colors. You also have different shapes of dices. Then you also have different sides. So we are not going to consider that for now. We are just going to consider the two basic properties. The first one is that we are going to consider the sides of the dice. Then we are going to consider the rolling function of a dice. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to write a code on how to so I told you that we'll write a code. So that code will give me a random output number with the help of six dice. Okay, six-sided dice. Let me just open the Kotlin. Yeah. I hope you guys can now see this thing. Let's zoom. Okay. So it's zoomed too far away. Okay. Uh, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. So in a previous session of Kotlin, I taught you about the variables, and I also taught you about the integer and the string value. So if you consider a dice, it has six sides. Okay. So how can I declare these variables in Kotlin? So if it in this first session, what I was going to do was I'll type val and I'll type side 1, and I'll give it as value as 1, then then side 2, then value as 2, then variable that is side 3, and 3. So if you consider this part of a code, it's very hectic. One, it's because you have to declare each and every sides of a dice. So and the other thing is like, let us consider you have more number sided of a dice. Let us consider 12 sided dice. Then you may have to declare the 12 different variables, and the execution of the program will be lengthy too, because Kotlin has to declare each variable and has to give a different name for a different value. So if you consider Okay, that's too big. Sorry. Yeah. So if you try to see here, you have the three variables, that is side 1 and side 2 and side 3. So all of these sites are declared as a variable, and it's a very hectic process for a Kotlin to individually declare a variable. So how can we overcome this the hectic process? So what the Kotlin has given is, there is something called as a range of integers. Okay, so how can we declare the range of integers is, let me clear this program. What I'll do is, I click on val, then I'll give the variable name as side, then what I'll do is 1 dot 6. Okay, so here you can see that if I run the program, of course it doesn't do anything, because I didn't tell my program to give me the output or something. So what the Kotlin does is, so here you can see there is a variable called as side. Okay, then it has declared there is something called as a 1 dot 6. So what does it actually does is, Kotlin takes the value, that is, it will start taking the value from 1, then it will take the value 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. Okay, so it will store all of these value, that is from 1 to 6, in the name, in the variable name called as side. Okay, the other thing that you might know, there are two dots in between the first value and the last value. Okay, so 1 to 6 and all of these value, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, can be considered as two dots. Okay, let us say that if you want to declare the 12 sided dice, so what you will do is, you will I'll take the value, that the last value, that 6, then I'll give the input as 12. Now the Kotlin will store all the values from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 12, and it'll store all the values in this variable, that is side. So that's how you can store a range of integers in a particular variable in a Kotlin. Now the next thing that you need to know is, okay, okay, so you know that in dice, I want to have an random output. Okay, so what do you mean by a random output is that when I roll my dice, there may be a chance that it will give me a random number. So when I roll my dice once, I'll get an output as 1. So let us say I'll roll that again and I'll get the output as 6. Then if I roll my dice again, I'll get the output as 5. So those are the random output the dice is giving to me. So how we can implement this in our Kotlin editor is, so we'll use something called as a random function. Okay, so let me store the result. Let us say result. Okay, so I'm going to store my output in the variable called as result, and I'll give so what I'll do is, I'll type side, then I'll type dot and a random with two open brackets. Now I'll tell my Kotlin to give me the output, random number is, and let me give the dollar symbol and result. Okay, so let me just run this program. Okay, for the first time, the Kotlin has given me the random number as 9. So let me run the program again. Okay, so here you can see that for the second time, the Kotlin has given me the random number as 4. Let me run again. Yeah, so here you can see that when I run my program, the Kotlin is given, it's giving me the random number again and again. So what did I do here? So let me just zoom this for you, so that will be very okay. Okay, so it's zoomed too much. Let me just see. Yeah, you can see the code, right? Yeah. So what did I do here is that, so when a Kotlin tries to run this program, first it'll try to store the in a range of integers that is from 1 to 12 in the variable name that is site. And the second thing is that, so here you can see that when the Kotlin tries to execute this statement, so first thing it notices that I need to store whatever the values, that is side dot random, whatever the values that I'll get from this side dot random, and I have to store it in the result variable. Okay, so what did I do here is that here you can see that I have used the side dot. So what I'm telling my Kotlin is that use this range of integers that is from 1 to 12 and apply a random function to this range of integers. So when Kotlin try to implement the random function to this range of integers, and it will give a certain value. So it will give a certain value. That value will be stored in the variable result. Then I told my Kotlin that you need to print that result to my you need to print that result to my output. Okay. So what if I change my value that is from 12 to 6, and I'll try to run my program. Okay, so Kotlin is running my pro. Yeah, so here you can see that the Kotlin has given me the output as 3. So what did it do? So so first it stored all of the range of integers in the side variable. Second thing is that so it applied a random function to this range of integers. Then it stored the value in the variable result. Then it gave me an output saying that yes, I have got the random number that is 3. So if I try to rerun the program, it's giving me a range of number as 1. So if I try to rerun the program, it's, so yeah, sometimes there may be a case that it will give the same number again and again. So even in the, when you do a dice roll, sometimes you'll get 6, then you'll get 6 again. It's a very lucky thing. Yeah, it's giving me a thing. So it won't give me an output that is outside of a range. Let us say that it won't give me a number that is 7 or 8 or 9, because I have told Kotlin only to select the integers from 1 to 6. Okay, so this is about the range of integers. Now the next thing that I want you guys to know that is okay, so I have told you before that we are going to use the class and the objects in our Kotlin program. So in our Kotlin program, we have a object as a dice. All right. So we need to have a class of dice. So in this class of dice, there are basic properties. So if you take a real dice, you have the properties like the sides, and the other thing is that it'll roll. So we are going to take both these properties, and we are going to write a Kotlin code for that. So how can we declare a class in our Kotlin language? So we can do that by First is the keyword for the class is same class. Okay, then comes the class name. So here, hence we have taken an example of a dice. We'll give a name as dice. All right, then the two flower brackets. Now in this class dice class, we have to uh, implement some of the basic properties. The first property was to give the sites. All right, the second property that I want to give my Kotlin is that to implement the rolling function. All right, so how can I implement these both these properties in my code? So first I'll implement the side property to my dice. So what I'll do is, in this class I'll define a variable that is nothing but a sites. I'll remove this variable. Right. So variable sites, and for now I'll take my dice. So it has a six side. Okay, it is six sided dice. So now we have to use this variable in our main function. So how can we do that? So I told you guys that I have declared a class. So let us say that you have a car now. So the car has a basic properties, that is wheels and a car body. Okay. Now, how can you derive another car? Let us say a BMW or an Audi. So this BMW and an Audi car has a basic properties, that is nothing but a wheel and the main body. So it will take the properties from a car and implement to its a car, that is a BMW. So how can we implement the dice, that is a basic properties at the say sites, and the role function? Then how can we create an object, that is, let us say, my dice. So let us say I have my dice, so which is a six-sided dice. You might have another dice that is a 12-sided dice. So there might be my friend, so he might have a dice which is of another color, but all of these dice will come under the one class that is called as a dice. So what I'll do is I'll create another dice. So I'll give the name as my first dice. All right, so I have given a name as a first dice to my dice object. Then I'll use the basic property, that is nothing but a six-sided dice. So how can we use the basic properties of a class? So to use these properties, what we are going to do is we are going to first we are going to type the class name and with the two open brackets. So what's happening here is, when the Kotlin tries to execute this program, so it will come to this statement first, and it will notice that you have something called as a first dice variable. So these first dice variable will take the properties from the class that is nothing but a dice. So it will search for the dice class. So when you search for the dice class, it came to know that, okay, now my first dice has a six sides. All right. So if I take another dice, let us say variable second dice. Now even the second dice and the first dice are both are taking the properties from the class dice. The first dice is taking the properties, that is a six-sided dice. Even the second dice is taking the property, that is six-sided dice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to uh, display an output saying that this is a six-sided dice. So let me remove this random function. Type is this is So what we are going to do is we are going to use this six side. So how to use that is first thing is we are going to type the object name, that is first dice, and we are going to use the dot operator. Then I'm going to use the sites. All right. So this is how you use the properties, that is nothing but sites. So yeah, so I'll cut this and I'll paste it in my print ln. So remove this double sided commas. Okay, so when I try to run the program, let's see. Yeah, so here you can see that the Kotlin has implemented the basic properties, that is nothing but a sites in the first dice object. Then when the Kotlin executes the second function, that is a print ln, so here you can see that first dice dot slides. So what I'm telling my Kotlin is that the first dice is of a class dice. Then I want Kotlin to use one of the basic properties, that is nothing but a sites. So when you run the program, the Kotlin will take the basic property, that is the value 6, and it will print it in this statement, and it will give me the output as a 6. Okay, so let me delete this code. Okay, so that's how you can declare a class, and that's how you can use the objects in a class. And using the properties of a class, I have declared into the objects, and the objects can use these properties to display a simple statement, that is nothing but 6 is a side the first dice contains. Now the second thing, this is the second basic property that I wanted to use is a roll function. So whenever you throw a dice, it will roll. So I need to implement same in my Kotlin program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function. Okay, so in the first session, I told you guys that whenever you need to perform some specific tasks, so in here I need to perform a role action. So I'm going to use the function. So to use a function, use a keyword fun, then implement role. All right, then okay. So I have used the rolling function. Then in this roll function, I need to get a random output. So we are going to use a random function. So by the use of a random function, what we can do is we can declare a variable. Let us say variable name is num side, and it varies. It has a range of integers, that is from 1 to 6. All right. So then I'm going to store the result. All right. Uh, then let me take this num side and implement a random function. Okay. Then I'm going to print this number, and is nothing but uh, let us say okay, dice rolled. So we are going to use a variable, that is result number. So let me run. Okay, so why didn't the Kotlin give me the output? So I have declared everything here. So I have created a rolling function. Then I have declared the variable, that is nothing but num side. Then I also told my Kotlin to print this statement. So the mistake that everyone like the most of them happens is that they'll create the function, but they'll forget to implement it in the main function. So when a Kotlin tries to execute this the main function, there is nowhere mentioning about this function, that is a role function. So first I need to tell Kotlin in a main function that you need to use this role function and give me an random integer. So what I'm going to do is, so the first dice is my dice name. All right, then use the role function. All right, now let us see whether the coding gives me an output. Okay, so dice roll 2 number, that is my first output. Let us run the program again. Okay, dice rolled 3 number. Yes, dice rolled 1 number. Okay, so it's giving me a random output. So first it gave me 1, then again 3, then again 2, then again 3. So what did the Kotlin do here is, will try to store the variable and print the number of sides of my first dice. Then when the Kotlin tries to encounter on this statement, that is first dice dot roll. So first dice is my dice name. Dot roll is nothing but I have used the basic property, that is a role function of a class dice. Okay, so the first dice has a basic property that is nothing but a side, but then it also have a basic property that is nothing but a role function. Then the Kotlin tries to execute function that is role. Then it will store the number of sites. Then as you can see that I have implemented the random function to the range of integers, that is 1 to 6. Then whatever the output that you get from this, you have to store it in the result variable. Then you need to print this statement to me. uh, so you understood, right? That's how we are going to use the basic properties of a class, then implement it in a object. So here I have used basic properties such as the role function and also the sites. Then I have implemented it in the my first dice, that is my object of a class. So how can you further dive into the program? So yeah, so the thing is that now here you have the print statement. So basically I'm trying to display my output in the rolling function itself. So let us say that I want to display my output in the main function. So whenever I try to edit my code, I can see that okay, in my main function I just need to change if there are an errors. Then if there are an error in a function, I can go directly to my function code. So it's a better practice to display the output in the main function itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something called as a return. So I'll use the return statement here, and I'll tell my Kotlin to send the output to my main function and display the output there itself. So, and the other thing is that the this is a string value. All right, so can we use a string value to a return type? Let me is good. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll type return here. All right, then I'll tell my Kotlin to the result. Let's see what will happen. Okay, so what my Kotlin is trying to tell is that inferred type is int, but unit was expected. So what my Kotlin is saying that okay, you have told me to give the value that is of the random function, but the Kotlin doesn't know that whether the result is of type integer or whether it is of a type int or whether it is of type of another boolean type. So I need to tell my Kotlin that the result is of type a variable, that is nothing but integer data type. So how can we do that? So what we can do is, so in the role function, you need to put a colon. space, then type it as an integer value. So now the Kotlin understands that the return is of the type, the result is of the type integer value, and it will display the output. So let us see whether the Kotlin displays the output or not. Okay, so nothing is happening over here. So why didn't the Kotlin give me a random number? So the problem here is that you have given the integer value that is of the type integer, and you have told Kotlin to send the result to my main function. So here in main function, I just mentioned about the function. So what does a Kotlin does? Kotlin will execute this function, but it won't give me and display output. So I have to write println here again. Um, okay, let me erase this function. Let type as println. Okay, so what can we do is okay, dice. We'll type same thing. Dice roll is all right. So we need to so before displaying the output, we need to store that is the result variable in another variable in our main function. So let us type here val, then let me type it as dice res okay, dice result. Then first dice is my object, that is my dice. First dice dot roll. All right. So the Kotlin, when the Kotlin tries to execute this function, it'll first it'll execute it, that is a roll function. Then whatever the output that I have got here, that is nothing but the result. It will store the result in this variable, that is nothing but a dice result. Then it will give me an output. So let us run the program. So before running the program, let me uh, use a variable that is nothing but nice result. Okay, so let us run the program. Okay, the first I got the here the output is 4. Let's run again. So 6, and yeah, 6 lucky chance, then 1. So here you can see that the Kotlin has executed the program, and for every program that has executed, it's giving me a random number. Then also I have used the return, so that I won't, so that if there are any errors, I can just come to function. If there are, if I want to change the display statement, I can just go to main function and change the display statement in main function itself. Now so what are the other things that we can implement in here? Yeah, so let us say that everyone does not have a six-sided dice. Okay, I might have a six-sided dice. You might have a 12-sided dice. The other guy must have a 20-sided dice. 20-sided dice. So how can we implement this in Kotlin programming? So what I'll do is, you remember something called as an argument in the first session. So I'll send an argument to my class. Okay, so in that class I have declared a variable called as sites. So let us say that whenever I send a 6 as a six-sided dice, it will select the six-sided dice, and it will implement the roll function. So when it implement the roll function, it will choose the values from 1 to 6. Let us say that I have rolled the 12-sided dice. So when the 12-sided dice has been rolled, the function roll will take the input as a 12-sided roll, and it will only select the integers from 1 to 12. So what I can do is, so let me just send the my first dice. It has a six-sided dice. Okay, So when you try to send the argument that is nothing but 6 to my class, in my class there is no mentioning that I have to receive the integer or a string. So I have to mention in the class that okay, 6 is a type of integers, and I'll store it in the other side. Thus I'll store it in a new variable called as a side. So what we can do is, let me comment this statement, because now I'm going to give you a random so I'm going to give you an input. It might either be 6 or 12. My first dice is of a side 6, and my second dice is of a side 12. Okay, so what I'll do in here is open the bracket, and I'll create a variable here itself, that is num side. All right, and num side is of the type, that is integer. All right, so the Kotlin tries to send the 6, that is the sides of a dice, and so it'll use a basic property of a class. Then it'll implement the random function for the 6-sided dice. So how we can use is that, okay, let me erase this function. Yeah, it's better to erase, because now I'm giving you the 6-sided and the 12-sided. So in my variable result, what I'm going to do is open the bracket, 1 dot dot num side. All right, then implement the random function. So for a first, you might not understand, what did I do here. So let me do something here so that you can understand better. Println uh, this is let us say, uh, yeah, what I'm going to do is, let me remove this one function. Okay, this variable. Okay, so I have implemented the role function. Let me create another variable, that is so sided function. Okay, and then let me store it in my first dice. All right, then let me just use a variable here itself. So let me run the program. Let's see if, oh, so what's yeah, the coordinate is trying to tell me that the num side, it's been used first time in our main function, so we cannot use it like this. So let me erase this function, it will be better for you. All right, let me bring the screen here. Yeah, okay, so why it's not, okay, let's leave for that. So let me now try to, okay. So now Kotlin is giving me a random integers, that is dice rolled is 6. Let me run this program. So it's dice rolled is 6 again. So what happened here? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So let me run the program again. Let's see if, Oh yeah. So sorry. Because the it gave me an output thrice giving the same number, so I thought that there is some mistake in my code. So no, there's no actually mistake. So yeah, it's giving me a random, that is nothing but a random output. So now I have a first dice that is of a six-sided low. So let me create another object that is 12-sided dice. So val second dice. Then you need to use the class properties, and I'll send you the 12-sided dice. All right. So this dice result will store the first dice roll function. Okay. So if I roll my second dice, I need to create another variable. Let us say dice result 2, and let me choose here. Okay, dice result 2, and so let's use a roll function here again. All right. Then I'll copy this statement, that is print, and yeah, dice result 2. So let me run this program again. Oh yeah. So the first dice rolled is my first dice, which is of the side 6. The second dice is of the side 12. So let me display an output such a way that the dice rolled is 6 of side 6. Then the other thing is dice rolled is of 4 of side, let us say 12. So how can we do this is, yeah, uh, okay. So what I'll do is, I'll remove this val result, and directly let me give you the return statement here itself. Yeah. So now I'm telling my Kotlin just use this result. Yeah, dice rolled of the side. Then let me yeah, use this as a function. So first dice dot num side. Okay, let's see if my programmers are now here again. Yeah. So this is my second dice, and what I'll do is I'll type it as second dice. All right. Yeah. So let me give some space. Yeah. So what happened here is, the first thing is that I have created an object that is first dice. Then I have created a second object that is second dice. So both the dice, the first dice and second dice, will take the basic properties of a class that is nothing but a dice. All right. So the first dice and the second dice, they both have a basic property that is nothing but a roll function. So I have given the argument for the first dice, that is 6, and for the second one I have given the 12. So whenever Kotlin tries to execute this program, it will store the variable that is 6, and I'm telling Kotlin that you need to create an object that is first dice which has of side 6. Then while Kotlin tried to execute this statement, I'm telling Kotlin that you need to create a second object that is second dice of the side 12. So when the Kotlin tries to create a variable, and when it tries to execute a rolling function, so let us come to roll function, and here you can see that I have implemented the random function. to this range of integers, that is from 1 to the num side. So what is this num side? Num side is nothing but this argument that is 6. Okay, so I have told my Kotlin that you need to send this variable that is 6 to the class that is dice and store it in the variable called as numside. So whenever I try to implement the random function, it will take 6 as a numside, because for the first dice I have given the argument as a 6, hence it is a 6-sided dice. Then the same thing goes for the second dice. So I have given the argument as 12. So the value 12 will be stored in the num side in the class dice. And when the Kotlin tries to execute this statement, that is variable dice result 2, so it will run this function, that is a rolling function, and it will so when it tries to execute this function, it will come to know that the num side is the of variable that is nothing but a 12, and it'll take this variable 12 and it'll execute the random function. And here you can see that it has given me the output 4 of the side 12. So let me run the program again. So here you can see that dice rolled is 4 of the side 6, then dice rolled is 9 for of the side 12. Then if I run the program again, is so dice rolled is 3 for the side 6 and 5 for the side 12. So this is a pretty basic program that we have used here. So we have used classes that is of a class dice. Then we have used the object that is my first dice, that is first dice and the second dice. Then with the help of these objects, we have used the functions in a class that is nothing but a rule. So this is just an basic introduction to the classes and the objects. So I'm not going to go in depth because it's already there mentioned in the unit. I think it's in unit 4. Yes, it's in unit 4 of your Android study jam. Make sure that go through the each and every pathway, then practice the codes, because even I get confused sometimes. So it's better to practice, and you'll get to know once you practice these kind of codes. So I'll send the code to the WhatsApp group now. The first agenda has been done, that is just an introduction to the classes and the objects. Now I'll go into the second agenda, that is basic introduction to the Android Studio. So let me just take my slide here. Yeah, so let me present this side. Okay, these are the classes and the objects. So is a basic example. So let us understand about the user interface. So whenever you try to open an app, the first thing that you'll get to know is the user interface. So what is a user interface? So by the name itself, you can notice there is a user and there is an interaction between you and an Android app. So we call them as an user interface. So what interaction you are going to do with the app? So let us say that let us take an example of a WhatsApp here. Yeah. So let us take an example of a WhatsApp. So whenever you open the WhatsApp, so you have the chat screen window. Now, so whenever you click on one of the chat screen window, or so when you click, there is an interaction between you and between you and the app. All right. So when you click on a particular chat, it will open a the chat window, and whenever you type something, there is going to be an interaction with you and again with the Android app too. So so there so y- let us say that you need to create a basic app. So while you're creating a basic app, the UI should be very fluent. So imagine if a WhatsApp, instead of showing the chats in a horizontal way, it will be a vertical way. So if it was a vertical, it would be difficult for the user, because it would be hard to find the chat name too. So that's what you need to understand, the basic thing about an app, that the UI should look good, and it should also be very efficient for the user. So whenever the user opens the app, then he might notice where are all the things, and where he need to go to the particular window. So interaction, you can have a better interaction, and you can also have let us say you are typing a message, so there is interaction going on between you and the app too. So here you can see a basic app. So this app is for the type of plants. This is a very beautiful UI, because when you open the app, the UI is, so you can see all the details that is related to a plant, and the pricing point too, and if you need to add it to cart, you can add it to cart. And you can see also the picture of a plant too, and a small description about the plants too. So keep in mind that whenever you are creating an Android app, make sure that your UI looks good and it's very efficient too. Now let us go to the next slide. Yeah. So let me introduce. So this is introduction to the Android Studio. So the first thing that about in Android Studio, the very basic thing that you need to know is about the constraint layout. So by the word, you might not understand. You might understand the word layout, but the constraint layout too. But you might not understand in the terms of an Android Studio. So I'll teach you through this graph. So in the left side, you can see an basic app. So in this app, you have, let us say, a button. You have an image of a small message box, and you also have a text here, and you also have a text in middle too. So this is a basic app. So you have a text, you have a button here, and you also have a image. All right. So all of these elements, that is a text or a image or button, all of these elements are called as view, because you can view these elements. Okay. So in Android terms, we will call them as a view. So it may be a text view, that is here is a random number between 0 and 15, 0 and yeah 15, and here is a button view. So you can see a button, and here is a image view. So in Android Studio, we have grouped together this view, and we call them as view groups. All right. So these view groups can be anything. It can be button. It can be also be an image. It can also be a text. It can also be a scrollable. So all of these are jumbled together, and we call them as view groups. So in Android Studio, what's happening is, let us say that you are using and Pixart or something. So in Pixart, you can drag an image, or you can place anywhere the image in your screen. But in Android Studio, there are certain restrictions. The first restriction is that you cannot just drag and drop the certain elements. So let me take an example of this text. So if I want to just drag and drop this text, uh, there are some restriction in Android Studio. and the other thing is like if I want to add a button, I'll just drag and drop in any other platform. But in Android Studio, you need to you have a certain limitation. So what are these limitations? So these limitations are the first thing is about the constraints. So I'll show you in Android Studio how we can set up the constraints. And the another thing that you need to consider is that there are relations among them. The first thing is that the text and image or the button has a relations among them. Let us say that the text is at the upper the text is at the top and the button is at the bottom, and the image is at the bottom right. So you can see that there is a relationship among them. So it's a so it is stacked in the column way too. So you can see in some of the app there may be a button and there may be an image display too, so there is a relationship among them too. And you can also see that there will be a text after text. So here you can see there is a one text over here, there is another text over here, so there is a relationship among them too. And there may be a button or after the text too. So let us say you have here previous button and you have something to display a text in here too. So uh, as I told, the image, button or text, all of these elements are considered to be view groups. So in view groups, you will be able to make a relationship among all of these elements. So one of the view group in Android Studio, the basic view group that we are going to use today is the constraint layout. All right. So let us say that I have drag and dropped the button. I have drag and dropped the text. So what does this constraint layout does is, so it will arrange these the text or whatever the buttons in a systematical way. So the Android Studio knows that okay, so the button is in this position and the text is in this position or the image is in this position too. So remember about the constraint layout. So I'm going to show you a demo too. So if you did not understand now what a constraint layout is, so it's more, the more importance is given to an practical view point of view. So I'm going to show you a demo on that too. Uh, Let me change the slide. Okay, so here you can see a view group. So you have two views here. So it might either be a text or an image, or it might either be a button or an text, or it might either be a image or a button too. So take an example of this app. So this is an app that we are going to create today, basic happy birthday app. So in here you have three view groups. Okay, so you have three views that are grouped together in a constraint layout, which is nothing but a view group. So you have the first view that is nothing but a text view. You have a second view that is nothing but this image, and you have a third view that is nothing but another text. So all of these elements are grouped together in the constraint layout. So the constraint layout, what does it does is, so it will arrange these layouts in a systematical manner so that the Android Studio will know where are these views are positioned. So yeah, so whenever so this is what you call as a layout editor. Okay, so layout editor is a place where you will add the views, or you can also see the blueprint of your app, and you can also see the UI of your app. Let us say how your app looks, and you will also be able to add some fonts, or let us say add some color to your text too, or you can add customized buttons, or you can add images. So all of these together we have a editor that is nothing but a layout editor. So in layout editor we have six they are divided into six parts. The first part is nothing but the project section, where you will be able to see all of your layouts. The second part is a palette section, where you will be able to add the views. Okay, and the third part is nothing but a component tree. So let us say that I just added my button to my design. So whenever I add my button to my design, what happens is whatever the views that are there in my app can be seen in here. That is nothing but a component tree. The fourth one is nothing but design. Design is basically how the app UI of your app, how the app is how the app should look when you are opening your app. And the fifth one is nothing but a blueprint. So blueprint is basically so for now we are not going to go depth in a blueprint. So I'll show you on demo how it looks on an Android Studio. And the sixth one is nothing but the attributes. So attributes is a place where you let us say edit your font style, you add sizes to your fonts too, and you can also add some constraints. I'll show you on how you can add constraints, and you can also edit the text, let us say from hello world to happy birthday too. So let us start with our Android Studio. Mm, okay, just give me a minute. Yeah. Yeah, so it's opening the Android Studio. It's opening my Android Studio. Okay. So if I zoom it here, can you be able to see it? Think no, right? Okay, no problem. Yeah. So this is our Android Studio. Now, today we are going to create a basic app. So this app will just display a text, and that is nothing but a happy birthday. So, and let us say that the happy birthday app should contain the three basic things. One is nothing but a happy birthday message and an image, and the third thing is from whom. So, how we are going to do that? So the first thing is that we are going to create a project. So let me close this project and create a new one. Okay, now let us create a new project. Then I'll select the empty activity. So my application name will be birthday birthday app, something like that. Then if you want to change the location of your project, you can change that too. I'll select marshmallow. uh, then you make sure you choose Kotlin, and let's click on finish. Yeah, okay. So whenever you create an Android project, just wait for a minute. So you can see there is something called as a Grail build over here. Yeah, there's something at the bottom. You can see there is something called as an build model. So so just wait for a minute or two. Let the Gradle sync be done. So whenever the Gradle sync is done, you can see there is a message here saying that the Gradle sync is finished in the top left bottom of your Android Studio. Now let us choose the emulator as Pixel 3, and let us just run our app. So you can click on event log to see what's happening. Okay, so it's telling here that yes, operation is successful and great build is done. I think my app should pop up now. Yeah. So yeah, here you can see that this is my app. So the bird app is ouch, that does not look good. So, and you have the hello world app too, and this is my basic app for now. Now let us open the layout editor in order to add the text view and the image view, and also some of the let us say if you want to edit the font. Let me minimize this app. All right, so let me open. So in order to open the layout editor, you need to go to that is uh, yeah. So in order to go to the layout editor, what you need to do is click on Android. Okay. So when you click on Android, click on app, then click on the res folder, then click on the layout folder, then double click on the activity main.xml. So here you can see that this is my layout editor as I mentioned in my the slides. So here you have just basically one text view, that is nothing but hello world. So this is my project window, and if you also on here, so this is my palette. So this is where you can add all of the views, and if you go down, this is my component trees. So let us say that I have added a button over here, then you'll be able to see the views in my component tree. Then yeah, let me just bring up this magnifying glass. Yeah, then you have this the design layout, you have this blueprint, and you have these attributes. So you cannot see the attributes for now, because you will not be able to see the attributes because I did not select any let us say view. So if I just click on the text view, now you can see the attributes window opening up. So more about the attribute window or later on. Now what I need to do is I need to add an happy birthday message. So to do that, what I'm going to do is let me delete this text view. All right, so you can delete just by pressing the delete button, or you can let me just yeah. So you can just delete it by pressing the delete button, or right click on this text view, and yeah, here let me bring this to side. Yeah, okay, so here you can see that there you have the option called as and delete. So let me delete this text view. Okay, so it deleted this whole thing. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so in my app now, it's a very blank screen app. There is no text, there is no image, and there are no buttons too. So let us add by one. So for the first thing that I want to add is nothing but a text view. So here in the palette, you can see there is something button, image view, recycle view. So drag this to my design. So I'll just drag to my app, and yeah. So when you try to drag, you can see there are a lot of error that has been shown in the attributes. So let me zoom on that. Okay. So here you can see that in the attributes section, there are two errors, that is not horizontally constrained or not vertically constrained too. And if you click on the component tree too, you have a red mark indicating that this view is not constrained, and it has only design time position, so it will jump to 0 0 at runtime unless you add constraints. So what my Android Studio is trying to tell me that, okay, you have dragged something to my screen, but the Android Studio doesn't know the position or where it should position in the screen. Okay, so to my eyes, I can drag it over here, I can drag it over to here too. But the Android Studio or my app doesn't know where exactly is the position of this text view. So to give the position to my text view, what I can do is, let me zoom in on this. Okay, so you have something called, so you have your four dots, all right. So you can see the blue screen that has been highlighted. So this is nothing but a constraint layouts. So you can add anything, let us say button, text or image under this blue highlighted area. All right. You cannot add, of course, you cannot add a button over here. You need to add a button under these layouts. So so I am giving a position to my text used to tell my app, okay, so when you run the app, the text view has to be positioned at the top left of my screen. So click on so if I want to display to top left screen, so I need to give position to the top one, the top screen and the left screen. So click on, just click, and here you can see when you click on the top, the round circle, you can see there is a arrow mark, and just drag it to the top top screen of your app. Then if you just click on the side one, click and just click it to the left screen, the left part of your border. So if you find it difficult, just clicking, then giving it an arrow in such a way, what you can do is just click on here, then you can see you have something called as an constraint widget. Okay, so in a constraint widget, you can just specify what number of the spaces that you need to give to your text view, uh, to your text view. So I click on this. S- so here you can see that my text view is like it's at the corner, so I need to give some spaces for from the top and from the left. So what I'll do is I'll click on this, and just click on the drop down menu and click 16. So here you can see that now I have there are some spaces, and I don't know if you're able to see, but there is some 16 number that you'll be able to see. So it's, if I drag it down, then the number might increase to 88, 100, or not, if 114. So it's a space between the top layer to your text view. For now I'll just set it to the 16. uh, it's, yeah, now here you can see that the blueprint which I mentioned. Now I need to give some spaces between the text view and the left corner. So what I'll do is just click on this and just drag, yeah. So you can go like any number of four if you want, 3, not 4. So but for now I'll just keep it as 16. Okay, so if you find it difficult, dragging this like from here to there, so what you can do is just click on that, and here you can see the value in the constraint widget. Just click on 16. Yeah, so now I have turned my Android Studio. Okay, see that I have added a text view, and my text view is at the top left corner of my screen. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is give a message, say that from the text view I want to change it to, let us say, happy birthday. I like Binod. Happy birthday, Binod. Okay, so let's click on enter. Okay, so here yeah, here wait a second. Okay, here you can see that there is a message has been displayed here, happy birthday Binod, but the text size is too small and it's not visible to my eyes too. So we'll increase the font size. So to increase the font size, so I told you before that if you need to edit something and if you need to uh, enter let us say if you need to customize the fonts, what you need to do is just click on the text view and here let us say yes. So let me zoom in for you, you might not be able to see. So go to the attribute section and go scroll down and here you have something called as a appearance. Let me zoom in for you. Yeah. So in a common attribute section, you have something called as text appearance. Just click on this, and here you can see the font family or the text size or the text color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font size. So click on so for a font size, you have something called as a SP. Then you have something called as DP for an image size too. SP is called as a scalable pixels. So let us say if I give it as 36 SP. Oh, it's too big. So let me reduce it to 30 SP. It's still too big. Let us give it as 24. All right. Yeah, 24 is fine. Yeah, good. So I have what I did is I have increased the font size of my text. Now to give the color to my text, what I need to do is so here you can see text color. All right, then just type in black something. So here you can see the drop down menu has been displayed. So there are so many colors. Let us say blue. So if I type green, there is a dark green and light green. So for now I'll just select on black. All right, then okay, let me zoom out for yes. So click on enter. Yeah, so here you can see that there is a black. Now my font has been changed to black. So let us say that I want to change the font. I want to something very crispy. So just click on font family and you have so many fonts here. If you click on self, let us say Monospace. Yeah, the font it's change, or let us say sans serif black, or the medium one. So the condensed light. So let us select a medium one for this one. Okay. So this is how you add a text box. You edit the font family, and you also edit the let us say they give the text size, and you also give some a margin. So in here I have given margin like 16 to the top and 16 to the left. And okay, I got a message. How can we enter how can we center a text box? Okay, so to center a text box, what you need to do is you let us say if you want to center it, all the positions has to be seen. Let us say the position from the top and the positions from the right, from the left, and from the bottom too. So how can we center is just click on this text box. All right. So, so when I, center the text box here, you can see in my blueprint, there will be a gray line which will be displayed. So this is, so it says that my text is vertically, it has been centered. So to make it horizontally centered, there will be another gray line which has to be displayed here. Yeah. So there is another gray line of that is saying that it is now So my text box is my like centrally it is being aligned. So if you need to give positions, you can give here 80. So you can click on this white icon, and you can also click like something like here. Then if you see that here in my constraint widget, it says that 0 0 0 0. So what is basically it's telling me that my text has been centrally, it has been in the aligned center. So this is the answer for Shank. And okay, but now my text has to be displayed on the top left, so I'll take it to my top left too. Okay, so I'll remove this thing, so you can just delete. All right, so you can just delete this one too. Okay, then let us give some margin, that is 16, and let us give some margin here to 16. Okay, now uh, so when you try to change the string, that is the first it was text to, then next it has been I have changed it from happy birthday. So when you try to change it, there will be an warning. So I'll zoom in on. So this is a warning that you can see here. So it says like hard coded string. So I'll tell you later on how to solve this warning too. So I want to create another text that is happy birthday Binod from, let us say, from Binod, I guess. I don't know, correct. So the same procedure, first we need to drag and drop to my UI. Then we need to give some constraints to my Android Studio. Okay, all right. So I have given some constraints. Then I need to give some margin. Let us say 16 and 16 to uh, yeah. So this is my this is a text box that I added to the bottom corner. Now let's change the view, text view to from, let us say, wife. That's good, from wife. And what we can do is we can change the font size. So to change the font size, select the text view to, then scroll down here. Then you can just select the text size from 14 to, let us say, 18 or something. Yeah, 18. Then you can also, let's give it a black color. Mm. So I give it a black color. Then let's change it to sans serif light. Okay, light is not so good. Let's change it to medium too. Yeah. So happy birthday Binod from wife. So here you can see that I have given some margins, and also given some constraint to my app. Now, so the next thing in my happy birthday message that it has to be displayed is an image. So I need an image now. So to download image, what I'm going to do is let me go here. Just give a second. I'll download the image now. What image can we add? So you can add any images. Yeah, I downloaded one image for me. Yeah. So okay, so how can we add images? So you can't just directly let us say in PixArt or your any of your photo editor, you just need to click and then insert images. No, you can't do like that in Android Studio. The first thing that you need to go is the resource manager. So click on view, then mhm. So we are not able to find a resource manager. Okay. Uh, okay, let's click on this thing. Then you have a resources something. So sorry for this thing. It has been edited. Where did the resource manager? Okay, so it's off by default. So let me give me a second and let's on that. So you guys don't need to do this. Yeah, the yeah, it was off by default. So sorry for that. Yeah, so here you can see the resource manager. Just click on that. Basically, it will be there in here, like the and system. Okay, so we need to add our images. So to add images, click on the plus icon. You can see over here the plus icon, and it will give you the four options: drawable resource file, image asset, vector asset. So import drawables is the one we are going to choose because we are going to import one of our image that we have downloaded. And let me zoom out for this one. Okay, so I need to know the path. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop my file. All right, so this is a file that I have downloaded, and click on next. Click on import to. Okay, so we have added our image to our project file, but we didn't add it to our app. So to add it to our app, then change this view to project section. Yeah, so click on the image view and just drag and drop it. And here you can see it will ask you to pick a resource, and click on Android party. And yeah, oh, so now we need to center our image. So as we did it on our text box, the same procedure we have to follow in order to center our image. So let me bring it to my Android app. Okay, then we have to add some constraints. All right, click on this thing. Okay, so here you can see that I have added the constraints and my image is now centered. Okay, now so and my I need my image to be like in the background, like the cake should be in the middle, and the display has to come over here, and like the text has to come over here, and from wife has to come over here is. So I need to let's say zoom in, or let's say stretch out my image. So to do that, you have something called as a width and a layout width and height. So when you just click on the image, and when you add it to the Android Studio, so the default size will be what it will be displayed in our Android Studio. So we can change the layout width. So just click on the image view first, then in the attribute section, let me zoom in, go down here where you can see something called as a layout width. Click on that, then click 0 for the width, and for a height to 0. Let me go back and let me click on OK. All right. Okay, then you need to go down, and there is something called as a scale tab. So why we have given the value 0 and 0 is to center our image. It's like you center the image, then you zoom in. All right, so we need to zoom in, right? So for zoom in, what you have to do is go to the common attributes, Then click on the scale type. Then as you see, it's if you want to center inside or fit at start, then go to the start. Then it fit at end, it'll come to end. Then fit XY. Then let us say fit center, it will fit the center. So what I want is I wanted this option, that is nothing but us center crop. All right. So the usage of the blueprint is that here you can see that I have three views. That is image view. I have a happy birthday, text message, and from wife text message too. So then I need my message to be displayed. So it's like it's behind the image now. So if you consider let us say this as an image, so the happy birthday message has been hidden over here. So I need to bring my happy birthday message over at the front. So to do that, you need to just click on this image view and just bring it to the front. So when you bring it to the front, what happens is you can see that from wife has been displayed first. The second displayed is the image view, and the third one is our the last message. So let me bring my app to the top. Then now you can see that first is my happy birthday B note text has been displayed. The second display is the text view of the happy birthday. So third display is our image view. So let me bring the happy birthday view to the front. Okay, this is my first view, that is happy birthday. Second view is my from wife, and the third view is the image view. So this is a basic app that we have created today. It's let me just run the app. So wait for Android Studio to run. So you can see the success is operation, and let us see. Okay, now we can just yeah. So this is my app that has been created today. So we have created a very basic app that is nothing but birthday app. So happy birthday Binod. Uh, we have added the image view, we have added the text view. So we also know how to constrain the layouts. So uh, a few minutes back I told you about the warning symbol. So how can we solve this warning symbol? That is click on the warning symbol. So when you click on the warning symbol, it will open you the dialog box saying that it's a hard coded text. So what do you mean by hard coded text is that so the string value that you have given, let us say happy birthday Binod, the Android Studio when it converts to programming language, it doesn't know like what kind of type, or let us say it's sometimes it's very hard to convert the for an app. So we need to tell Android Studio, okay, it's a at string and from happy birthday Vinod, or at string from wife. So Android Studio will automatically tell you to suggest for fix. Just click on the fix, and you can see that the resource name is what that is like at string, then comes the resource name. So I'm getting at string from wife. So let me click on OK. Yeah, so here you can see that from my wife, so it has been changed from at string from wife. So if you click on the happy birthday Binod 2, here you can see there is a orange dialog box. It says like happy birthday Binod. So I want to change this one too. So click on the warning symbol, then click on the fix. So it'll tell you you can like edit the resource name too. If you want to say happy birthday, you can do that too. So let us keep it like a happy birthday let's get happy birthday, then click on OK. Yeah, so So the image without content description I won't be talking about in this session, because in the next session we are going to create a dice roll app. When you click on the dice roll, so it will change the dice. Let us say when you click on the roll button, it will change from 2 to 3 to 4, also to 5 or something like that we are going to create. So this is it for the today's session. So let me just run the app again. So you'll get a dialog box saying that it's success operation succeeded, and yeah, this is my app now. So this is a basic app that we have created today. So we have started with the introduction to classes and the objects. Then we have created a simple program on dice rolling function. So make sure that you know that program dice rolling function, because we are going to use that function and write a code in our app. So and then we have give an introduction to the layouts. Then also an brief introduction to the Android Studio, like how can you add the text view, how can you add the image view, the button view, then how can you change the fonts, then also the color of the fonts too. Then we have also given introduction to the constraint layouts, all the layout thing, and how can you give a space between text view button and your app. So yeah, that's it for the today's session. Make sure that you complete the Unit 5 part of the Android Study Jam by let us say by this week also, because let us say next week we are going to just create a dice roller app. Then it will be end of the Android Study Jam. Uh, yeah, so thank you guys for coming today and watching my stream. So you can always do the courses at any time, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel SOC. And if you have any doubts, you can just post it in our WhatsApp group too. So thank you guys. Bye.